Let's get started. All right. Well, welcome to one of my favorite topics to do all year long, and that is winter wellness tips. Of course, I think for me personally, I associate the holidays with all of the parties and the coming together of the families. And of course, fun and exciting and maybe specialty sweets that I don't ordinarily have. We have a lot of family recipes and things like that my family makes that I really love to enjoy. I'll just share with you guys, I am a human. I am not a robot. I also love to indulge here and there. I will just share with you my very favorite thing in the whole wide world are s'mores bars. And so I do definitely indulge in that. But I do know, because I don't typically indulge in those types of sugary foods, I almost always, and I've always had an immune system like this, so I might be more vulnerable than others. But when I go through a period where I'm having too much sugar, even if it's in a single setting, I notice it in my throat almost immediately. Like within an hour or so, I start to feel the swollen glands, the sore throat. As a child, I'm somebody that grew up with antibiotics often, like at least twice a year. I would have such bad swollen glands in my throat with such a sore throat and a fever, and I would just get sick a lot. And so now as an adult, when I indulge in too much sugar, that's my Achilles heel. I feel it almost immediately in my immune system. And during the holidays, I think that people start to notice this as well, because we are engaging in a series of lifestyle factors that tends to lower our overall immune system. Things like too much sugar, too much stress, and not enough sleep. So today I'm going to share with you guys a simple approach that really gives you a very holistic approach to supporting your immune system during the winter season. So let's kick off by talking about we're going to go straight up immune system support first. We're going to then branch out a little bit more into more of a functional medicine perspective on your immune system in terms of how to support your digestive tract. From there, we're going to address more lifestyle factors like stress and how to manage your blood sugar this season, because it's the blood sugar and the stress that is acting as gasoline on the fire that's always weakening the digestive system and therefore the immune system. So you can see the whole circle in terms of the holistic approach to supporting your wellness this season. All right, let's kick off with good old-fashioned immune system support. Now, if you're an essential oil user, and by the way, all the things we're talking about today can be purchased through doTERRA. I just really wanted this information to be very DIY focused, very empowering for people, where you don't have to go through a practitioner to access this type of stuff. So everything is very focused around doTERRA today. The most simple way you can support your immune system is like easily enough. You could just throw your oils in a diffuser. There's specific oils I'm going to share with you guys. And the good thing about using a diffuser is you are passively supporting the immune system of your entire family, the people that come home at night and share the air with you, right? So I really am a fan of putting oils in diffusers during the holiday season. There are the number one blend. Obviously, there's so many blends that you can use, and nothing would be considered wrong or ineffective. But in my opinion, the number one blend is Abode. The Abode blend. Of course, On Guard's great. You could totally use On Guard too. But I am such a fan of the Abode line because I will never forget when I saw them roll it out at convention. I think that was last year in 2021. Maybe it was 2020. I think it was 2021. I looked at those ingredients, those oils that were up there on this big screen, and I was like, those look very familiar to me. And I actually pulled out my phone and I pulled out the case study, or the study that was done by Johns Hopkins, looking at which essential oils by doTERRA. Johns Hopkins did not do this general essential oil study. They actually did an essential oil study using doTERRA essential oils. And they wanted to see which ones were most effective, if any, because they were not even sure if any were going to be effective against antibiotic resistant bacteria. And that's really what's so hard about people getting sick nowadays, is a lot of our bacteria are so antibiotic resistant because we are so laden. We've been so bombarded with antibiotics. So it's getting spread around is often antibiotic resistant. So I love the Abode line because those essential oils were the ones that tested the highest in terms of effectiveness against those bacteria in that study that Johns Hopkins did. Now, I'm not making any claims or anything, but I'm just simply sharing that study. You can actually search that study by typing in Johns Hopkins doTERRA essential oil study. I think it was done 4 or 5 years ago at this point. So the Abode smells amazing. It's got all those oils in it, or at least the top oils that tested, and you can throw it in your diffuser. Okay. Now that's it, getting the immune support in your external environment. The second thing that you can do for your immune system is going to be support getting into your, like, more targeted support on your body or in your body. Now, I'm a big fan of drinking essential oils, particularly when you're trying to really have an impact on just day-to-day kind of preventative care. I am already gearing up with this. I like to do a drop of On Guard and a drop of pink pepper inside of my water. So this is a blend I actually discovered while we were traveling to the Philippines. My Achilles heel for sure is my immune system. There was never a flight I could get on where I didn't have achy throat and swollen glands at the end of it. It could be from San Francisco to San Diego, same thing. Sneezy, stuffy nose, swollen glands, sore throat. Since when we started traveling to the Philippines, I was like, I'm going to have to come up with a different, so I'm going to have to find something that doesn't allow me to be sick when I hit the ground in another time zone after being on the plane for 16 hours. Because when we went to the Philippines, it was for business. It was like hit the ground and meetings back to back and traveling for a week straight. So I thought I would give the On Guard and pink pepper a try. And I did. I would actually go to the airport. I have both of those bottles in my backpack, and I would go to the airport with an empty stainless steel water bottle. And once I got through security, like clockwork, a drop of each in that stainless steel water bottle. I'd buy a water bottle, fill it up, and I would just sip on it throughout my entire flight, on and off, just kind of sipping on it, just giving myself little dosages of that over that 16-hour time period during the flight. And I never, ever got sick. And I traveled there, I want to say it was 6 or 7 times over a period of 2 years. It was quite a bit. And I never got sick flying there, working, flying home, never once. So I love and definitely trust and really believe in that blend in particular. Those two oils work very interestingly in the immune system. So On Guard supports your immune system in combating bacteria, fungus, mold, and also viral infections. No, this is not an antiviral, an antibacterial. I am not making claims. I'm just telling you, it helps your immune system do its job. Okay, your immune system knows how to deal with that kind of stuff. Pink pepper works in a little bit of a unique way, kind of a very cool and special essential oil. Pink pepper has been found to work on the thymus gland. The thymus gland sits right here on top of your sternum, and it's kind of like boot camp for your killer cells, your natural killer cells. The killer cells are like they're like your Marines. Okay. And the thymus is like the boot camp, and pink pepper helps to support healthy thymus function and helps to support healthy immune or healthy Marine fighters. Okay. So that combo is really unique, and I personally love the taste of pink pepper. It does not have a peppery taste, believe it or not. It's not like black pepper. Pink pepper has more of a fruity taste, like a berry taste almost. So I really love the combo of the On Guard and the pink pepper. So that would be the immune support. We talked, just to recap this particular category, how can you support your immune system in terms of the environment that you are sitting in? And then how can we support the immune system in terms of being more direct with where your immune system is hanging out inside your body? Next, we're going to talk about digestion. So because of all of the foods that people eat during the holidays, I think this is one of the biggest reasons for people getting sick. There's a lot of sugar going in, a lot of carbohydrates that are processed, breads, rolls, cakes, cookies, those types of things, pies. Of course, quality of ingredients is huge. I actually I know we're coming up on Thanksgiving. On my Instagram, the Wellness Abode, I just did a little post on pie ingredient substitutes that you can use, just because certain brands have become, over the years since I was a kid, certain brands have just adopted really poor quality ingredients. So I went ahead and shared some of my favorite brands to be shopping for the holidays as you start to get into the baking element. But the digestive system is really important when it comes to your immune system, because that's where 70 to 80% of your immune system lives in your digestive tract. So if you're bombarding your digestive tract with sugars and pro-inflammatory foods like processed grains and things that are sprayed with glyphosate, as a lot of grain products are, then of course we're weakening the immune system. the reason why the immune system is in the gut is not by accident. It's all about survival. And if we're bringing things, we are literally bringing things from the outside world into our body in a massive way through the digestive system, right? So things that are meant to be like in the ground or living things, right? And who knows what those things have on them, parasites, bacteria. It's a part of being a human, right? Our body is wired to handle that kind of stuff. And that's why we have so much of our immune system in that digestive tube, is to be able to appropriately engage and kill things that are coming in from the food. But if we do too much bad stuff, then our immune system can become weakened. So a great way to support healthy digestion, even in the midst of the holiday slip-ups and indulgences, is to take Terrazyme with your meals. Terrazyme is doTERRA's digestive enzyme. And I like during holiday meals, I'll take 2 to 3. So if I'm doing, like, I know I'm going to Thanksgiving and my aunt makes the most amazing s'more bars, which I don't even want to tell you guys the ingredients because it's like so horrifying to think that I would eat this, but I do it. I do it every holiday. And if I take Terrazyme, I don't get bloated. I don't feel the swollen glands. And it's because I'm helping my body get over it. Okay. Just because you want to be healthy doesn't mean you have to totally avoid everything. You just have to give yourself some support to manage it. Right. Of course, there's different seasons in the healing journey, and you might be in a season where you have to avoid all of that. Just depends on you and your own unique journey. But Terrazyme can hopefully buffer a little bit of those effects of the food. Now, people always ask you, like, how many Terrazyme do I take? So I always say, like, if it's an indulging meal, you want to take 3. So an indulgent meal would mean, like, for me, like really heavy gluten products are an indulgent meal. I would take 3. I wouldn't even mess around with it. But you might be able to get away with 2 if it's a smaller quantity. If you're eating really well and maybe just indulging, like you're having like your good protein, you have a potato with your vegetables, and you're indulging a little bit with like a roll, then you'd probably be okay with 2. Give your body the Terrazyme to digest your protein, to digest that roll, and you'd be okay. But then if you're having dessert, go ahead and take 3. Okay. All right. Now, the other thing you might want to do, especially if you're prone to bloating or discomfort when you're exposed to foods, you could help your body like manage that discomfort by putting Digestin on topically or even peppermint after your meal. Now, if you're somebody that unfortunately might have like a reaction to the food, maybe you didn't realize you were going to have such a bad reaction, you could do a drop of Digestin or peppermint underneath your tongue, and that would actually help with any nausea you might be experiencing. So those are tips for the digestive system. Moving on, if we're going to talk, I also want to acknowledge for your immune system that, you're going out and shop. I love to go out during the holidays and go shopping. I know it's easier and probably cheaper to order online, but I just like love the window displays during the holidays. I love the hustle and bustle. I'm somebody who likes to go out on Black Friday and go to my favorite boutique stores because I love the feeling of that. Like, of course, I love the sales, but I just love the feeling. And I really do try to avoid big box stores like Target and places like that, but just because there's so many people. But in the midst of being out amongst the population, it makes good sense to carry around something that's going to help to kind of clean off any bacteria or viral exposure that you might have while out in the midst of a bunch of people shopping and sharing surfaces and also sharing air with you. So in terms of sharing surfaces, a really great thing to do, just a good habit to have, is when you get in the car, by the way, put the On Guard hand sanitizer in the car. So this might be something that you already have in the car, but maybe you need to actually bring out and put somewhere in your car where you're going to see it as you're coming back into the car. So like, I personally really love the hand sanitizing mist. I know doTERRA just came out with that hand gel. I'm not a convert of that yet. Like, I just love the mist. I don't know why. So when you're going shopping right now, it's a good idea to put your mist or your gel in your, the glass contain, what am I saying? The cup holders, sorry, the cup holders in your car. Because that's something I see every time I get in the car. I see what's inside of my cup holder. So if I see it, it's the visual cue for me to put it on. You know what I mean? So giving yourself that nice, like, sanitizing experience every time you come back into the car. And then something that you could do, and I actually got in this habit, I was really in this habit during COVID. You could also then do like a drop of Breathe in your hands and just inhale, and then put it on your chest. Or you could do that with On Guard as well, just to give your mucous membranes a little boost as well as you come back into the car after being out amongst all the stuff, all the people and their germs and things like that. Now, another thing that you can do on the go is pop an On Guard beadlet. So I know for me at this point, because I'm not so worried about like COVID and things like that, I will always be doing that On Guard, the hand sanitizer, and I'm more apt, rather than like putting the Breathe or the On Guard on when I get in the car, I'm more apt to pop a beadlet at this point. Especially with the MetaPower beadlets that just came out. I love the taste of MetaPower. So I will pop those. I have those sitting in my car right now in my cup holder. I also have the On Guard, the MetaPower gum in there too, which you could also do because you're getting about a drop in there when you get a piece of gum. So when you come into the car, you just do a beadlet or a piece of gum and you put on your hand sanitizer and you call it good. So what you've done for yourself is you've just given yourself a chance to kind of clean up after being out amongst the other people, exchanging germs and things like that. Okay, next, let's talk about what we can do for stress. So if you've been hanging out with me, whether it's here in like, Zoom land or YouTube or Instagram, or if you're a clinic patient, I talk a lot about how cortisol can weaken your immune system. So it's true. Cortisol is the stress hormone. And I think I don't know, maybe I need to be the person to give you permission to not try to be all the things during the holiday season. I know it's hard, especially when most of the people I talk to are mothers. You're like kind of the person creating all of the holiday experiences and the vibe of the home and the vibe of the car as you're going to the parties and things like that with the fam. I just want to give you permission to just let things fall and not to try to be so perfect this season. That's one thing that causes people a lot of stress, I find. Another thing is financial stress. And some of this is just, things that we can't control. Maybe family stress. Maybe you've got people in your family that stress you out and cause some survival mechanisms to pop up. I totally get that. I've been through seasons of that in my family as well. I know what that feels like. I just want to invite you to be proactive in helping your body to temper the stress response. And you can actually do that with essential oils. So I can't help you with that cousin or sister or uncle that you get in arguments with. Of course, there are things out of our control, right? Things that might pop up that you can't do anything about. But one thing that we can do is we can help our body better modulate or cool down that physiological stress response that might be happening as a result of the things that we don't have control over. And essential oils can do that. Some of my favorite to use are AromaTouch. I love AromaTouch for stress. I really do. It's like the marjoram is so calming for my muscles. And then you have the lavender in there, which is calming for the mind. And then you have the peppermint, which is almost like a refreshing essential oil. So you have like the calming oils, but then you also have that refreshment from the mints. So I love that one for like stress management during the day. Also, people love the smell of AromaTouch. So if you're using that as your pure fume, people are going to comment on it and love it. So that's one you might want to have in your purse, or just keep with you, like out on your, mantle when you're getting ready to apply, like getting ready to leave the house. You could apply a few dabs of the AromaTouch. And if it's stress that you're feeling, kind of check in with your body and see, like, am I storing that stress somewhere physically? Some people feel emotional stress like in their heart or in their chest. Some people feel it in their back or in their belly. Take a minute, take a beat and be like, where am I feeling that? Where's my body holding on to that stress? And then do a couple of drops of that AromaTouch and just apply right over it. And then, of course, if you prefer like more like lavender or floral scents, you can do that. Lavender is a good oil to have for stress mitigation, and start like kind of using it in like your daily evening time rituals during this holiday season. I love a good lavender tea at night. Like, you could do a drop of lavender. I do a drop now, but when I first got started with this, I would just dip a wooden toothpick inside of my lavender oil bottle and stir it around hot water and then add a little bit of honey. I just stir that around and drink it. For me, that lavender tea is so lovely at night. I actually will switch between lavender and petitgrain at night. I love those guys. For me, they just really help to relax my body and they help to quiet the mind. Both lavender and petitgrain actually help to increase GABA levels in the brain. GABA is the neurotransmitter that kind of acts as a dimming switch on your thoughts. So if you're low in GABA, you don't have anything turning down the thoughts, like turning that knob down. So the lavender, the petitgrain help to kind of do that, kind of turn that knob down. So all those thoughts and worries can shut up and you can go to bed. Okay. All right, next I want to talk about blood sugar, and this will be like the final piece. Blood sugar, if we're eating a lot of sugary foods, which can happen during the holidays, I know like some of my favorite, if I could do like a choice day without getting sick, I do honestly, one day of this would knock me, I'd have like feelings of strep throat. I would be sick for sure. But like as a child, and think back on like the things we used to get to eat at Christmas, like my favorite thing would be like banana bread in the morning. And then my mom makes this fudge. We call it the Schaefer fudge. That's like her family line, the Schaefers. And it's this very special fudge recipe. And it's like hard candy fudge. It's so good. Oh my gosh, I used to eat so much of that, but I get sick every single holiday because we have that at Thanksgiving and at Christmas. I would do that. And then I would have my s'mores bars for dessert in the afternoon. And I just know that a part of that was the blood sugar piece, like looking back on that. And then as adults, we can have blood sugar crashes too, which then makes us irritable and less capable of enjoying those holidays, right? I also know that as an adult, if I can support healthy blood sugar during the day, I'm less likely to indulge in all that extra sugar that I might indulge in at a family party. Or even not even a family party. Like sometimes I know, especially for those of you that have children, candy dishes are part of the holiday season. My mother used to decorate our home with candy dishes, and it was always so fun because the candies were colored and things like that. And it was just so easy to just kind of reach for those things and just kind of snack on them. Now here in my home now as an adult, I don't have any of that stuff. But when I'm at my family's house, if I have not eaten, I will just subconsciously find myself grabbing that kind of stuff. And that's not good. So if you can do MetaPower throughout your day, you might find that you have less blood sugar crashes, and then you're not finding yourself reaching for that stuff all the time. So MetaPower is going to be a really great support for you. Now, some ways that you can do MetaPower is you can put it in your water and just sip on it during the day. You could pop your MetaPower soft gels throughout the day, or you can keep your MetaPower gum in your purse. And just, if you notice like, oh my God, I'm reaching for those M&Ms again, go grab the gum and see if you can't use the gum instead to try to trick your brain into thinking, okay, I'm done with the sweets. I don't need the sweets anymore. There's grapefruit oil in there and there's peppermint oil in there. And both of those have been proven in studies to diminish sugar cravings. So that formula is really, really wonderful for those, for that tendency, and it helps squelch that for you. Now, if you have any questions, now will be the time to go ahead and pop them in the chat box, or if you're driving, you are free to unmute yourself and ask your question. I'm going to go ahead, and as we're getting any questions posted up in there, I'm going to go ahead and just wrap this up by saying, if you are somebody that wants to get your hands on these things, you can go ahead and send me a DM at The Wellness Abode on Instagram, or you could head over to our website, www.thewellnessabode.com, and click shop and scroll down to the Daily Habits Kit. The Daily Habits Kit has most every single thing that I talked about. There are a couple of things with the daily staples that I mentioned that you might want to add to that, we can add to your kit, but I would tell you to go ahead and get started with the Daily Habits Kit. In that kit, you have your Terrazyme, you have vitamins, you have a little bit of probiotic in there, which even further boosts your immune system. You have On Guard, AromaTouch, and Lavender all inside of that kit. And then anybody who gets started with the Daily Habits Kit in the month of November 2022 will also get a free bottle of Abode. That's our immune blend that I was telling you would be really great in a diffuser. You get a bottle of On Guard hand sanitizing spray as well. So if you want to go ahead and get started, you can head over to thewellnessabode.com, go to shop, scroll down and find the Daily Habits Kit. Once you purchase that kit, you'll get an email from us and we'll go ahead and get those extra goodies sent out to you separately. And we have additional bonuses for those of you that are on the Wellness Abode oil team. You get access to our app, all of our e-courses, our A to Z guides, and then all of our essential oil resources like ebooks and webinars as well. All right, so that's it for our class today. And thank you so much for those of you that attended live. And if you're catching the recording, we hope that you enjoyed this. And if you want to reach out and get you started with any of these oils, please go ahead and send us a DM on Instagram at The Wellness Abode. Other than that, we hope you have a wonderful holiday season and have a wonderful rest of the week and stay healthy. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.